Well, instead of talking about all the controversy with the NFL and Donald Trump, I'm going to talk about another story that came across my feed on Saturday, and it's probably not a story that got a lot of play, but it concerns U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren, and apparently she was at a radio station, I guess, in Massachusetts. And as she finished up, she was outside doing some photo ops, I guess, with the DJ, and he asked her a question. And I don't think he was attacking her, but it was actually probably a legitimate question, which unfortunately she did have some problems answering. And the question generally was, he was asking her that, that she is a multimillionaire and she has it's a $2 million home. So she is actually part of that 1% that she keeps railing against. And he was asking her, well, isn't that hypocritical of you? Isn't there some hypocrisy there? And she answered about her life story, saying how she grew up with, not she certainly didn't grow up with a silver spoon, and she worked very hard for everything she's gotten. And it's all been about opportunity, and it's been about the fact that the government has invested in her, and she's done well. But she didn't really answer the question. And it left me actually questioning, did he have a point there? And at first I thought he did, but then the more I thought about it, the more I said, no, he really didn't, because it's not about that rich people are evil. And it's not that everybody in the 1% is an evil person. I mean, we all want to be probably part of that 1%. We all want to be comfortable and have enough to provide for our family and for ourselves, and hopefully even for our, future generations. I mean, that's what we all work for. None of us, I think, love going to work every day, getting a paycheck. We'd all like to have some security in that sense, some financial security. So it's not about whether you have money or not. I think it's about your character, and it's about what you do. And certainly we see with Donald Trump, who supposedly has billions of dollars, we see a severe lack of character there, because the more that is brought out, we see that this is a man who has spent his life literally swindling people. I mean, just take, for example, what's happened in Puerto Rico with the hurricane. And it was brought out that, he was going to open one of his Trump golf courses there that was going to save the island. And got financial breaks and everything. But then he backed out and he declared bankruptcy and left the bill really with the government, with the people there. So he made out okay. But the people on Puerto Rico were left holding the bill. And there's any number of vendors who have sued him because he hasn't paid this bill, and his attitude has been, sue me. And even now, when he goes on his weekend jaunts to one of his clubs, who's getting paid? I mean, we are paying him. The government's paying for the extra rooms and things like that, and it's going to the Trump whatever club, or on short, to the Trump business. So he's actually making money when he goes home. We're paying to be in Trump Tower, a place that he owns. So he's making money off the presidency. And any time, but he's not one who is, as we've seen, very charitable. I mean, he speaks about it, but, he makes the pledges. But as we see, it's very troublesome for him actually to make the check out. And so we see even now that he's donating his salary to charity, and he makes some big deal every quarter about what the salary this quarter is going to. But that's $450,000 a year. We probably pay double or triple that every weekend that he goes to one of his clubs. So he's not losing money. He pledged $1 million to the hurricane relief. Well, $1 million to somebody of that wealth is probably like $20, $50, $20, $30, $50 for me. So it's not like he is going out of his way better for others. And I think that's the point. If you look at what Elizabeth Warren has tried to do, and really what her rise to prominence has always been about how do we make things better for people. So she's fighting for affordable health care. She's fighting for affordable higher education. She's fighting for a fair tax system. She's fighting for the little people. Whereas Donald Trump, what's he fighting for? He says he wanted to have a health care that would be better than the Affordable Health Care Act. But we see what he backs, something that would kick tens of millions of people off of health care. And he's now upset because it didn't get passed. And his supposedly tax reform bill is going to raise taxes on the least and lower taxes for the most. So again, it's really about opportunity. It's about character. And we see this even now with this whole thing with the pro football players and people saying, well, they're rich. What are they protesting for? They should be thankful for everything they got. They get the pleasure and blah, 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 blah. But they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're using their position not to get more for them, but to get more for others, to make opportunities for those who don't have what they have. And that's what there should be doing. And that's what Elizabeth Warren is doing. And this is not in defense of Elizabeth Warren, but it is to say that no, there is not a hypocrisy there. The hypocrisy is only when you go out there and say you're going to do something like Donald Trump and then not do it. I mean, we even see Bill Gates with all his great wealth. And we can say, however, we can say that Microsoft's not the best company, not the best product, but bottom line is he made a lot of money. And now he's spending the rest of his life trying to give it away, working to use his wealth to better the world. Rid us of disease, to hook people up with computers and things like that. So that's what we should be doing. But we look at Donald Trump's life, for example, we see from the beginning, it's all been about swindling people out of their money. And he makes out, and the other people are left holding the bag. So no, there's nothing wrong with being part of the 1%. There's something wrong when you're part of the 1% and you don't use your powers and your wealth and your position to help others, to bring others up, to make an opportunity for others. And so we don't decry people of their wealth. We want them to have wealth. We want people God wants us to be wealthy. God will provide for us. But he also wants us to use what we have so that and understand that when we are blessing to others, we will be blessed tenfold, 100-fold. That's the promise that we have from God. And that's what we need to understand, that the pie is not finite. That if I get a bigger piece, you're going to get a smaller piece. But the pie is infinite. That if I get a larger piece, chances are if you already have a large piece, you'll have even a larger piece. And that's what we understand. And that's what we as Americans and as human beings have to strive towards doing. So no, there is no hypocrisy. This is what we should be doing. This is what we should be striving for. Yes, to be wealthy, but not to be wealthy just materialistically, but wealthy spiritually.